What is the most iconic moment in UFC history? I'm talking the biggest moments, the biggest upsets, the most entertaining moments overall, the most groundbreaking scenes in UFC history that shaped the sport to what it is today, especially with how big the moment is and growing the sport exponentially. Obviously, Jorge Masvidal's flying knee is one of the first things that ever come to mind. I mean, insane how massive he became just because of this flying knee. He's not even an all elite level fighter, but because of how crazy this moment is and the knockouts he had prior to it, this was an insane buildup for him, massive for the UFC. 5-second flying knee knockout in the main event. Huge moment. Leon Edwards' last second knockout after losing 3-1, almost 4-1 to Kamaru Usman. Head kick heard around the world. But the real head kick heard around the world was Holly Holm against Ronda Rousey. This was genuinely unbelievable. Even as a kid, I didn't really know much about the UFC, but everybody was talking about Ronda Rousey at the time. And so watching her get knocked out, it was genuinely insane. Nate Diaz hurting Leon Edwards, having him literally on life support at the end of the 5th round and pointing at him. One of the most iconic photos I've seen in MMA history. Of course, the Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor fights as well, where Nate Diaz choked him out in the first fight, and then an all-time classic second fight as well. These two were iconic moments in UFC history. Khabib choking out Conor McGregor. This was the biggest fight in UFC history, and of course, the way it ended up with how dominant Khabib was, Conor having his moments a little early and in round 3, but Khabib knocking Conor McGregor down and obviously doing this to him, and of course, the aftermath. McGregor knocking out Jose Aldo. Unbelievable. First time he's ever become champ. 13 seconds. I mean, this might be the most iconic moment in history. And then you have Conor McGregor with maybe one of the best performances we've seen in UFC history and MMA history against Eddie Alvarez, becoming double champ. Anderson Silva, triangle choke against Chael Sonnen. That's something that comes to mind immediately. And this Rory McDonald versus Robbie Lawler stare down. I mean, this was one of the most intense moments we've seen in the middle of a fight. High intensity overall. I mean, it was just insane. The blood on both of their faces, staring each other down, going to war and ready to go into war right after the round. If there's anything I'm missing, let me know. I think I covered like a lot of them. Maybe Max Holloway knocking out Justin Gaethje, UFC 300. I don't know. Let me know if there's anything else I'm missing that's truly one of the most iconic moments in sports history.